Let's now move back to the conversation we had earlier, looking at the influence of the People's Democratic Party, their decision to, enforce strong punitive measures against erring members, the crackdown they say that they're about to implement. And we're joined by People's Democratic Party member, Mazi Dickson Iroegbu. Thank you very much, Mazi, for joining us this morning. Regarding the PDP's decision to crack down on disloyal members, is that not maybe a decision taken a little too late, seeing as the key figures in South Nigeria have already defected to the APC?
In politics, 24 hours is a lot. And that a few people seem to have defected. And I say that because we understand that this is not particularly out of principle or because the party in power, the APC, has done anything fantastic. They are only there for their personal interests, those who are joining the APC, like the one who just defected from Akwa Ibom. You want that to achieve what, really? What is his grouse with the party? They say they are admiring Jagaban and all his qualities. And you wonder, just like what story you just told there now, how is the state of our country? What is the economy like? What is the security like? What then is it that is attracting them towards joining APC? Nothing but personal interest. And like I was saying earlier, of course, if you recall, even at the defection platform of the Akwa Ibom state governor, there were those who said no to it. And of course, I watched you earlier when you talked about those commissioners who refused to defect with him. So it simply means that the people are not with them. And then coming back to the party, the PDP, yes, indeed, we have had issues since the 2023 election. In fact, immediately after the primaries of the party in 2022. And some of us have maintained that what is haunting our party presently is that mistake of not upholding the constitution of the party, which I have here, which gives room for, zoning and sharing of elective offices. And those who had their own view then said, APC may want to go to the south, but the party is not in power. No, but the constitution of the party is not supreme to the constitution of Nigeria. So it was insensitive of the party not to consider the agreement of the southern governors, 17 of them, who got together before the primaries of all political parties and came up with a position that haven't seen that 8 years of reign of power in Nigeria came from northern Nigeria, that it would be right for the southern Nigeria to now also have it, so that we can have a sense of equal ownership of the country. And the party did not feel the pulse of the people, of the nation, and made that blunder, which is what is haunting the party. Are we doing everything possible now to reclaim the values that PDP, the founding fathers of PDP, espoused on the party? Yes, that's what we're doing now. And of course, the erring members, the renegade members, including these governors who are defecting, of course, they will face the reactions as it will come immediately after the Sallah break. And that's what we're doing. And I think PDP will get its ass together if we correct that very mistake of 2020, not zoning our ticket to the southern Nigeria in 2022. Once that is corrected, most of some of these challenges we're faced with will be history, and then the party will come back again. PDP is about the only political party organically organized for the good of the Nigerian people. The purpose of forming PDP is to, add value to the lives of the Nigerian people, and then help build a great nation as Nigeria ought to be. And by everything possible, the leadership is doing everything to ensure that those mistakes made will be corrected. And Nigerians are yearning. That's why you see people are worried about PDP's current state, because Nigerians know that 16 years rule of PDP, that their lives were better. The running of the nation was better organized. APC has come and within 10 years ruined everything, practically everything that the PDP built towards the development and growth of Nigeria in 16 years. So indeed, we will put our house together and watch out. PDP will come back. And possibly these radio members may also want to begin to reconsider coming back to the party.
Now, Mazi, I want to take you up on some things you've said this morning. You use really strong words and language, and you've referred to them as renegade members. And it seems the PDP South is ready to wield the big stick to instill party discipline and crack down on disloyal members. And when you look at the South, one name stands out when you want to talk about anti-party activities and disloyal members, and I'm talking of the current FCT minister, Mr. Nyesom Wike. Is he under your purview? What are the plans to discipline him if you feel he falls under this category of disloyal members? And also, what can you do about the governors and that have left already? You mentioned something about they will face the consequences. What consequences could they face if they've already joined another party?
Thank you. Yes, always we would mention the FCT minister, and one wonders why. It's not something that is unusual for Nigerians after election, right? After election, we have a nation to build. The former government of PDP under Obasanjo had members of other political parties in his government, right? So it's just unfortunate that we don't know where to draw the line. And the leadership, as we have today, haven't failed to galvanize all Nigerians, in the name of one nation, not in the name of a political party, right? That's what has caused all of these angles that we are seeing. Nyesom Wike is about the only performing minister under this government, and that is a PDP member, right? If you say, anti-party activities, while I'm not his fan, but I also have some sympathy towards his engagement of the party. He is insisting that agreement that the southern governors had in Asaba, the Asaba Accord, should be upheld. That power ought to come back to southern Nigeria. That is what is giving Nyesom Wike the muscle with which he's engaging the party, right? So if the party corrects that and listens to this, because that's the right thing to do, right? Because it is wrong for anybody to imagine it that after 8 years of a northerner, then another northerner will take over. It is very wrong. Just like some of us will, fight strongly by the grace of God in 2031 for power to return back to northern Nigeria in 2031. PDP must do quick. We must be fast about stating clearly that we have made a mistake and we want to correct it. Power is going back to southern Nigeria. In fact, PDP can also uphold what is written in the Constitution, which is the consensus arrangement. If there's any consensus that should happen now, it is that power should shift to southeastern Nigeria. That is the right thing to do. Once PDP leadership is able to give this right body language that the power should go to southern Nigeria, particularly to southeast, then the likes of Nyesom Wike would have no reason whatsoever to continue the engagements that you have called anti-party. About him serving in the government of APC, that is not anti-party, because we are all Nigerians. The Constitution of Nigeria is above any constitution of any association or any political party. So I don't see him as an anti-party agent. However, someone who is strongly opposed to the party not upholding that zoning arrangement, the sharing formula that is enshrined in our Constitution. That is what Wike is about. Other angles of him engaging the system and all of that is all politics.
But he's come out to say that he will be supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. Is that not anti-party? Because the PDP is clearly going to have their own presidential candidate.
We haven't gotten there yet. There's a process. In fact, if this were a country where, the laws of the land were upheld or is upheld, everything about politics should be banned until 9 months to election. Discussing like these posters of Jagaban that we're seeing everywhere is against the law. We shouldn't allow politicking to derail governance, which is what we're facing now, right? The party has not held a convention yet. So we don't have a candidate yet. But he is insisting that if the party continues with the position of possibly throwing again the aspiration for the highest office open, then he has taken a position that the Southerner must be supported. And this includes, some of us, even though I may not support his own choice of the Southerner, I am obedient, for instance, right? And I'm a member of PDP. The likes of us who are within the party are saying, if the party opposes its constitution, some of these renegades, as I call them, will not even throw up their heads. The governors who are defected is also in line with rebelling against, the party not doing the right thing. Even though, unfortunately, the host of that very Asaba Accord, the former governor of Delta State, Okowa, was the one who really betrayed that agreement, because what was he going for? The position of VP to the northern candidate and all of that, as we had in 2023. That is what got us into this whole mess that we are faced with. And now, after the whole thing he did, he has now said to have defected to APC, and people are taking him seriously. It's unfortunate, really. But we know those who are members of our party, and they are standing firm to rebuild the party and bring back those who are genuinely aggrieved with the issues that the party had in 2022 primaries. Like the likes of Peter Obi, for instance, we are pleading and working hard for the likes of him to come back. If PDP does the right thing and indeed says consensus, we're saying Southeast should produce the next candidate of our party. If Peter Obi will come up, and you will know that between that day of the election and 2027, by the grace of God, by 2 p.m., 1 p.m. on that day of election, the result would have been known, because clearly this government has failed woefully in upholding the main reason why governance is established, which is the welfare and security of the people. The economy of our country is in
Can you hear us? Okay, Mazi, if you can hear us, I mean, we've gotten your point in response to the questions asked, but let's further get your views on this. You've talked about going after Peter Obi because stories out there clearly states that the PDP is looking forward to re-invite Mr. Peter Obi back to the party. He seems like the only ticket for the PDP. That's one. Secondly, while the PDP is looking to invite Mr. Peter Obi back, remember that he has said that he's going to run on the Labour Party. But there's also a big quagmire somewhere. You also have the governor of Oyo State, Mr. Seyi Makinde, who says he too is going for the big one, the presidency. So it seems like you're still swimming in the pool of problems. It's not done yet. While you're finding a presidential candidate, there's one who is a member, critical member, saying, it's my turn. I'm also going this time. How do you want to handle that ahead of 2027, which is just a few months to go before, campaigns begin?
The last time I checked, Governor Seyi Makinde has not said anywhere publicly that he's vying for the highest seat in the land. People may be doing all of that, and it is politics. The ticket is not expected to just to be handed over to whoever will become our candidate eventually. There has to be contestation, right? That we're inviting Peter Obi back to the party. Yes, he has an edge over any other person who may want to come from southern Nigeria to aspire for the ticket. Governor Seyi Makinde does not have 6.1 million as allotted by INEC, available with him. Peter Obi has that. It's about numbers. He doesn't have it. So He has not finished his job in Oyo State as governor and all of that for him to be rated and possibly considered for the highest seat in the land. We are saying Peter Obi because we are insisting that power should come back or should be retained in southern Nigeria. Just like we did in PDP, within the party in 2017, 2018, towards the 2019 election. The ticket was strictly zoned to northern Nigeria. And there was a northerner in power at that time. We didn't go looking for someone from southern Nigeria to, replace Buhari. We went for a northerner, particularly a Fulani man, right? Because we understood that. And that is why we said that was a mistake we made in 2023. But now that we have a southerner in power, and this southerner like Buhari has failed woefully. Because if Jagaban tells you that there is renewed hope, there's no renewed hope anywhere. It's renewed shege that we are faced with. Everything about Buhari's failure, this government has amplified. The failure is obvious. So we need to go down south and shop for another southerner who is better than this current one in the villa to replace him. And by every means possible, the available person is Mr. Peter Obi. So if we're able to woo him back to our party, the structure you're talking about is not those governors. The structure is the people. And PDP is about the only party in Nigeria which has the structure spread, including up to family level, not just ward or polling unit or local government or state. We have PDP members up to family level. And so if we have a good candidate, like a Peter Obi, I'm very sure that, like I said, 2 p.m. on that day of election, because we will not be waiting for going to court. The focus is to win at the field. 2 p.m. on that day, the election would have been won and lost. And this government in power would have been packing to leave. If PDP gets its ass together, as we are going to work, as we're doing right now, very sure that this party will come back and give Nigerians the succor that we ought to give them, because there is evidence of what we have done before. There is something, the last guest you had said something about our having this proposal, and we support it. If we can have 2 major political parties in Nigeria, that would do. And PDP haven't held sway for 16 years. APC has held sway for 10 years plus now, and we have seen the difference. It is clear. So if we can do that, and Nigerians can rally around the right candidate, Peter Obi will sack Jagaban within 1 p.m., 2 p.m. on that day of election. If PDP is able to woo him back and the obedience come back to say, indeed, because it's about our country, including yourselves there, those of you, the anchors there, what is the state of the country for you? How is Nigeria, for you? How is it treating you? How is the economy for you? And all of that. So we don't need to pretend. If we know what the market is like. We know what the insecurity state is like. They keep telling us all sorts of things about what they are doing. It's all propaganda. The roads, travel by the roads. I went through Abuja Highway, Abuja to the east the other day, 2 days ago, and the roads are in a terrible state. And this man, rather than fix even the already existing roads, is doing some white elephant project called Coastal Highway. And he's out of how many, 700 something kilometers. He's only commissioning within 2 years about 37 kilometers, and they are clapping for themselves. It's a shame, really. We just need to, as a people, realize that it is us against them. And they should watch out, because this is not just going to be another contestation. Nigerians are hungry. Nigerians are angry. And Nigerians are ready to queue behind the right candidate that will get the right platform so that we can rescue our nation from these buccaneers in power. Because these people don't mean well. These kleptomaniacs in power, they don't mean well for our country. PDP, when it comes back, Nigerians will know the difference.
Mazi, I need clarity as to something that you had said. You made reference to the Asaba Accord at some point during your response. And if you recall the Asaba, you've given us a brief summary of what the Asaba Accord was about. And His Excellency, the former governor of Delta State, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, was someone who was criticized for, quote-unquote, betraying the Asaba Accord. We've seen him now move to the People's Democratic Party. We've seen his successor, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori, move to the People's Democratic Party. You spoke at the start of your conversation saying that, they would meet, whether they would encounter some sort of issue in front. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to misquote you, but what sort of punishment do you think? Do you think that the PDP has any influence on these ones who have already left? I think I need clarity in that regard.
No, they have punished themselves already by leaving, okay? But the mandate of the people will challenge it because it is the people's mandate that they are holding on to, not their mandate. If you listen to the Akwa Ibom state governor when he was announcing his defection, he said, having been elected as the servant, as their servant, that he is now deciding. Imagine that, a servant of the people now deciding to take the mandate given to him by the people to another platform. It's quite shameful, really. So the punishment, as we're talking about, they have punished themselves already by jumping ship. Thinking that PDP will sink. PDP will not sink. This party is big enough to accommodate, that's why it's the umbrella, to accommodate all Nigerians, all right? But those who I call renegades, who came in as leeches, took our mandate and eloped with it. We will go for it, and we hope that the court will do justice to reclaiming the mandate that the people gave genuinely to these people who have now jumped ship in the name of the campaign to the reunion APC, as I call them, because it's the reunion party in power, because they've ruined everything, really. It's unfortunate. There's no reason whatsoever for any Nigerian to imagine that a sitting governor, right, of like a state like Delta State, a rich state. So when you say you want to plug in the state to the center, excuse me, what kind of narrative is that? These are lazy-minded leaders, all right? Because if not, what is it that you're looking for at the center? Delta is a rich state. And if we have a government that is, really about the people, the resources of the state, if well applied, will work for the people. You don't need that story, cock and bull story about attempting to plug the state to the center. That's a lame excuse. They don't have any reason whatsoever to decamp to this reunion party that they have joined now. But like I said, they have punished themselves already. And I'm sure the people know what to do. The people are only waiting for the platform to organize itself. And that party, that APC, that the people are looking forward to is the PDP. Remember that Delta State all these years has been a PDP state. So the people know where they really belong, not the selfish governor and his followers who have joined the reunion APC. So
just to clarify, I believe there was a slip when I was asking the question, talking about them moving to the PDP. But of course, I'm sure that you and our viewers knew that I meant that they moved to the All Progressives Congress. That is Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori. And you are saying that you're going to take the legal route. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and see if the courts work in favor of the People's Democratic Party. And, if this crackdown will deter those who intend to decamp to the All Progressives Congress in the future. Absolutely.
Crackdown. Joining any association in Nigeria is by choice. And if you want to quit, it's also by choice. It's a right of yours to exit anytime. So we're not having a crackdown on anybody. However, we are wooing those who should be rightful members of the party. And we're organizing our house to put, the party back to winning ways. We're not cracking down on anybody. That's not what the party wants to do. Rather, we are organizing ourselves to put the party on track to winning ways. By 2027, by His grace, when PDP gets its house together, we would have been coming back to help salvage the ruins that APC has caused in our land.
Do that because we do realize that the campaigns will begin in earnest just a few months down. Thank you so much for joining us, member of the People's Democratic Party, Mazi Dickson Iroegbu. Thanks for your time.